Well, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? I hope you're ready for an outdoor English lesson. We'll be starting in about 30 seconds after I make sure that everything is working properly. So far, it looks like it is. It was fun to hang out in the chat with all of you for a bit. Let me just double check everything and we'll start in about 11 seconds. Couple of more checks here. I think we're good. Well, hello and welcome to this outdoor English lesson. It's been a while since I've done one of these lessons. I used to do these quite regularly on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to ease back into them. I'm going to do a live outdoor lesson the first Saturday of every month for the next couple months. And then when summer comes, maybe I'll do a few more. But right now, I just want to welcome you. It is a little bit windy outside. I'm sitting under my canopy, and you can kind of see the leg of the canopy right here. It might move a little bit, and there might be a little extra noise while we're watching this lesson. But we're outside. We're here to have me answer as many questions as I can about the English language. If you look in the description of this live stream, there's a link to a form. Please use that form to ask your questions. And I'm going to guess there's already some questions coming in. Yes, we already have 2 or 3. The form will also be linked in the chat. Please don't ask your question in the chat. It's very difficult for me to read from the chat because it gets quite busy in there. But what you should do is have great English conversations in the chat. I want to thank Todd for being here today. Todd was driving for a bit, but it looks like he is where he needs to be and he is online and able to moderate. Dave will not be here. Dave, I'm pretty sure, has a Saturday job now if I check my last text message from him. So we won't be seeing Dave on Saturdays, but we do have Todd here. So that's great. Hey, I just want to say hi to Lolly Lolly and Janith and Mode Eggs and Yaroslaw and Audie the Thai. And Speak English with this guy. Brent is here. Brent did just do a live stream earlier this morning if you had a chance to watch it. Tien Tai is here. Biswat Wajat. I know Barra Vilson is here. I saw Barra Vilson earlier. Talk Italian with Arone is here. Good to see you. Freddie Wolf, Lolly Lolly, and now I'm starting to repeat myself, but hi to Ralph as well. Hey, let's get started. Should we get started or should we have a special guest first? Maybe we should have a special guest before we get started. Let me just double check that there aren't too many questions. Nope, it's going good. By the way, you'll notice there's no leaves on the trees and it's a very bright, sunny spring day. So I'm sitting in the shade. It's a little bit hard to see me. It might be even harder to see this guy. We have a special guest. Jen's going to try and hand him to me without getting into the camera. And he's getting really, really big. He wants to eat the microphone. And now he's going to want to lick me quite a bit. This is Walter. There we go. He's a little more calm now. Let me move this way. He probably smells the breakfast on my mouth. Anyways, Walter, say hi to everybody. As many of you know, I am kind of a pet person, but sometimes you can see when they try to nip at me. Oh, there he goes. He bit the microphone. I think I'm going to put him down now. Can you say bye, Walter? Okay, let's put him on the ground. He's going to run to Jen now. Thanks for visiting. Good puppy. Okay, see you later. They say never work with pets or children when you're on television or making film. But, sometimes when you have a new puppy, you just have to show him to people. I'm just watching the delayed preview and I can see that he is kind of excitable. That's for sure. Anyways, let's get this English lesson started. Let me find the questions and let me get the first question up on the screen. The first question is right here. Oh, my microphone. There we go. Let me fix this a little bit. This probably looked like something yummy to eat to Walter. And if you're wondering where Oscar is, he's here too. He's just sleeping under a tree over there. He's a bit of an older dog now. Anyways, Mike says, hi, Bob. Could you define these? A paycheck, a hotshot, and to keep your wits about you. So a paycheck is a piece of paper you get from work. after you work for a week or 2 weeks, you'll get a paycheck, and that is the amount of money that your place of work is going to give you. So that's your paycheck. I don't actually get a paycheck anymore. It just goes straight into my bank account. But a while ago, people used to get a little piece of paper, pay Mike $570, and then your boss would sign it and you would take it to the bank and cash it. A hotshot is someone who's good at something. You could say like the new player on the hockey team is a real hotshot. That means he's really good at hockey. He's really good at scoring. And maybe he shows off a little bit. Like he does it with a little bit of flair. So people like watching him. And then to keep your wits about you is to just be careful. When you walk in the bad part of town, you want to keep your wits about you. You want to watch out just in case there's bad people hanging around. So that's what those three mean. Ruslan has the next question. Ruslan says, "Hi, dear Teacher Bob. How are you today, sir?" I am good. Let me just fix my microphone one last time here. There we go. Hopefully that didn't make weird sounds for you. Sir, no questions. I'm just happy to see you and your amazing landscape. I'm crazy about the greenery. Best wishes. So you'll notice the grass is very green. But if you look way over here, you'll see the trees. They're just starting to get leaves on them. You can't quite see them, but they are definitely starting to get leaves on them. In about a week or two, they should be completely leafed out. Anyways, glad I could show you that, Ruslan. Renata says, "Good afternoon from my side, sir. Could you please explain the word accoutrement to us?" Thank you, Bob. Have a great Saturday. I'm glad this is back. Accoutrement are like all the extra things that you put on something. If you have... you set the table and you have all the accoutrements for a party. It means you have like cake and candles and all of your, I'm trying to think of the word, but it's not a very common word. In fact, we should look up the meaning for a sec. Meaning of accoutrement. I can't help but say it in French. Additional items of dress or equipment or other items carried or worn by a person for an activity. So it's like all the extra things. I would use it to talk about a table, but it sounds like people would use it to talk about things people would wear. Next question from Eduardo. "Hi, Bob," and a wave. Thanks, Eduardo. "Good morning. Could you explain? But bridge water under it. And you got us on pins and needles. Thanks." So the phrase is, it's water under the bridge. And it's used to talk about something that happened in the past that you don't need to talk about anymore. So let's say my brother and I got in a fight 2 years ago. Right now, that's water under the bridge. We don't talk about it. It wasn't a big deal. We get along really well. So water under the bridge refers to that time when we got in a fight, but it doesn't matter. And when you're on pins and needles, it means you're excited about something. You could say that if you were excited for this live stream, you were waiting on pins and needles. You were very excited for this live stream to start. Give me one moment here to test. When I test, I should do this, right? I should give you the bigger view. Oh yeah, everything seems to be working great. There's lots of questions flowing in. I forgot how many questions there are on a Saturday, so I will keep moving along. Natalia says, "Hi, Bob. If I have an ordinary position in the company, I'm not the boss or the supervisor. You call people like me grassroots. Am I right?" So the way I use the term grassroots is to talk about something that kind of forms on its own. Let's say everyone was annoyed because the library didn't have enough books. And if someone talked to their neighbor and they talked to other neighbors, we would call it a grassroots movement. So it kind of starts on its own. The way you're using it is not how I would use the word grassroots. I would probably say your low-level employees would be what I would say. Let's see here. This is from Unsol. Hi, Unsol. "Hi, Teacher Bob. How are you doing? Is the use of vice versa common, and how is it used?" Let's say this. Let me think. And vice versa. It means like the opposite, right? So I'm trying to think of a good example. I'm going to have to look one up because there isn't one coming to my mind. Example of vice versa. And maybe this will jar my memory. Oh yeah, that's a good one. If you said, "I don't like Joe," and vice versa, or "Joe doesn't like me," and vice versa, it means I don't like Joe either. So it's kind of flipping what you're saying. And then loves from Istanbul. Well, thank you, Unsol. And good to see you. It's nice to see familiar names this morning. From Zhang, why can I not send messages in the chat box? Let me flip that around. Why can I not send messages in the chat box? You do need to be a subscriber. It's free to be a subscriber. You click this button right over here, and there's one below as well. If you are a subscriber, you are able to chat. I think you have to wait 5 minutes, though. You can't chat right away. So you do have to wait just a little bit. From Harry, we have, what is the question for this answer, Bob? I am the first child in my family. The one in quotation marks is the information I want to get. Oh, where are you in the birth order? Or where are you in the order of your family? It's a weird question. There's no firm way to ask it. But if someone said to me, how many brothers and sisters do you have? Oh, and where are you in the order? I would say I'm a middle child. And by the way, we rarely say first child. We usually say I'm the oldest. That's the most common way to respond to that question. I'm the oldest. Janith, what's the difference between summit and peak of a mountain? Well, for me, they're the same thing, but I want to be careful here because I'm not an expert. So there might be a slight difference, but for a normal person, you would say he climbed to the peak of the mountain. He climbed to the summit of the mountain. To me, they would be the same thing, although scientifically they might have a slight difference, but for me, they're the same. Hey Pretty says, Bob, would you mind pronouncing elite, measure, bound, and fiasco? Thanks a lot. Have a good one. Yes, he was an elite athlete. That means he's really, really good. When you build something, it's good to measure it. And if you don't measure it, you're bound to make a mistake. That means you're probably going to make a mistake, and then it'll be a fiasco. And a fiasco is just a real mess. Hey, my camera turned off. 1 second here. There we go. I forgot about that the camera, it didn't really turn off, but the screen I see turned off just for a little bit. From Yaroslav. Hello, the wisest teacher, Bob. Hope you have an awesome weekend. Hug versus embrace. Is there any difference? Take good care. So a hug does not include a kiss, and an embrace can include a kiss. So a hug is when you take someone in your arms and their head is here and you hug them. But if you give someone an embrace, you might hug them and then give them a kiss on the cheek. So maybe a slight difference there. Let me just check that one. Whether embrace includes a kiss. That's a good question, actually. To hold someone in one's arms, an act of holding someone closely with potentially a kiss on the cheek. Okay. So I think they're pretty much the same, but an embrace has the possibility of a kiss, maybe. By the way, we use the word hug quite often. We don't use the word embrace very much. We say, I gave my mom a hug, I gave my mom a hug and a kiss on the cheek. That's how you would, in regular English, say that. Well, hopefully I can do this. From 47382, can you pronounce disgrace, providence, prance, pathetic, stroke, and weapon? Thank you, sweetest Bob. So disgrace, providence, prance, pathetic, stroke, and weapon. By the way, providence is not a very common word in English at all. From Dr. Scatman, hi, when I'm selling medicine for customers at the hospital, but I want to know what's another word for medicine, thanks. We would say medicine. We might just say pills if it's actually in pill form. You might call it a treatment, but mostly we just say medicine, yeah. So at night, I take my pills. At night, I take my medicine. That's how I would describe it. Hey, I do want to pause for a minute and thank the 343 people who are watching. It's lots of fun to be out here on a Saturday again. By the way, as I mentioned, it's early spring, so the sunlight is very intense. That's why it's so bright behind me. And the grass is green, but the trees don't have leaves on them yet. That will come soon, hopefully. Let's get to the next question, though. Let me have a sip of tea first. I think I might talk a little more quickly. From Sammy. Hi, Bob. Just want to know how to practice my listening skills. Vocabularies are very important to listening. Am I right? Looking forward to hearing back from you. So listening, there's a variety of ways to practice your listening. One way to practice your listening is to listen to a lot of music. The beautiful thing about music and songs, you like to hear them once and then twice and then 3 times and then 10 times if you like the song. So I really like music and song as a way to practice listening skills. The other thing I recommend is that you listen to podcasts. The other thing I would recommend is that if you are reading the news, try to find a news source where you can listen to the audio while you read along. And certainly listening to audiobooks is a great idea as well. That's what I would say. No War says, hey Bob, question 1. How much water do you drink every day? I probably drink about 2 or 3 of these a day. I think in total I drink about 8 or 10 cups of water. And what are some of the benefits of having children? Stay safe. Well, I'll tell you this. During the pandemic, one of the benefits of having children is that there were just a lot of people around in my house. My kids would play games. They would play board games. They would play video games. They would have supper with us. We would sometimes play games with them. So it was just nice to have them around because it was nice to have company. Having your children around is a very comforting thing. That's what I would say. One of the benefits of having children. So Ezekiel says, prefer plus infinitive or gerund, and rather, which one is more natural? So when I use the word prefer, I would say, oh, I prefer eating cake. I prefer watching TV. In the evening, some people prefer going for a walk. Some people prefer eating apple pie. But generally, we're going to be using an ing. We're going to be doing that. That's the most common sound. If I say, I prefer to eat cake, it's correct. I just don't say that as much. When I'm outside, I prefer drinking tea out of an insulated cup. So I would use the ing form of the verb. Let's see. I think the ing form is more natural. Mode, the Bobby officially. By the way, Mode has decided that people who watch my channel are called Bobbies. That is your name. So hello, Bobbies. Mode says, correct me if I'm wrong. The phrases I'm done with uni and I'm done uni and I'm done with uni can both mean that I've finished it. But the latter can also mean I'm fed up. I've had it with uni. Yes. So first of all, uni is a short form for university. So you could say, it's April. I'm done uni or I'm done university. And that means your year is done, or it might even mean you've graduated. But if you say, I'm done with uni, it can mean that you are home for the summer, but it could also mean that you're fed up and annoyed and don't like university anymore. Good distinction. From Aziz, how do you pronounce these words? Little fix there, Aziz. Live or live. So this is live, and I live on a farm, so it has 2 pronunciations. And then the second word, life. I have a very nice life. I'm enjoying my life. And then leave. Later today, I'm going to leave because I have to go get groceries. Let me just do a little check here. Looks like we're moving along nicely. I love it. It's awesome. Let's have a bigger view for a sec. Let me just read some of the chat. Mode says, one of the benefits of having children is that you can have a cat removal kit. Yes, actually, I have a kid on cat and puppy duty right now, so I'm not disturbed. Case says, I know there's a lot of tourists in Sri Lanka because it's beautiful. That'd be a nice country to visit someday. And Renata says, you know the drill. Thumbs up. No questions in the chat. Bobby's support and welcome new subscribers and members. Thanks, Renata. That is great as well. By the way, we'll do members only chat in about 10 minutes. So if you think you'll have questions then, make sure you save them. And let's get back to the next question. So we have John saying, hi, Bob. I'm just wondering if you could explain the slogan of Alberta, Wild Rose Country. What does it actually mean? So Alberta is a province in Western Canada, and I actually have to look this up. Why is Alberta called Wild Rose Country? I'm going to guess they have wild roses there. Alberta adopted the wild rose as its official flower in 1930. The wild rose is common in the province. So there you go. That's why it's called Wild Rose Country. Let's see here. Hi, Bob, says Freddie LeFrenchie. I'm struggling to put these words in the right order. These words. It's about IT. Computers, hard data drive stores the local. Could you help me? Thanks. Oh, that's a tricky one. The computer's hard drive stores the data. That's what I would say. If I was to make a sentence out of that, I would say the computer's hard drive stores the data, or the data is stored on the computer's hard drive, but I think I added some words there. Hey, Brent, thanks for don't forget the thumbs up super chat. Thanks for being a member for 25 months. That's a long time, Brent. We should have had a party a month ago for your 2-year anniversary, but I didn't realize that. That's awesome. And I know Brent's been around for longer than that. I do know I talked to Brent before that, I think, for a little bit. Anyways, let's get back to the questions. From Min, who likes math. Hello, Teacher Bob. How are you? I'm good. How are you, Min? Do you spend your time with your family on the weekend? My dad usually goes to work on the weekend. I do work a little bit on the weekends, but I do try to spend time with my family. Back in the winter months, we did play games in December and January quite often. We haven't done that lately. We played board games. We should do that again. And then last fall and a year ago in the spring, we would go for a hike, or we would go visit somewhere cool in the area that I live every morning on Sunday morning. So that's usually what I do. But what do I normally do during the weekday? We have supper, we talk, we laugh. Sometimes people fight in my house. Unbelievable. And then I usually relax. I don't do a lot of stuff in the evening after I'm done work. Next question from Apple the Frog is here. Hello, Mr. Bob. How's your day? It's good, by the way. My question is, what's the difference between break and broken? Thank you for your answer and have a nice day. So if I drop this, it might break. If I drop this, it will break. So that's an event that happens, okay? When Walter bit the microphone, I'm glad it didn't break. Once something breaks, you would say it's broken. So once this falls, if I break it, I would say the cup is broken now. If Walter bit this and, made it so that it didn't work anymore, I would say this is broken. So that is the state of it. This is not broken. If I break it, it then is broken. I hope that made sense. I hope that didn't get confusing as I was saying it. Jules says, good morning to you, Teacher Bob. My question is, what's the difference between advice and advise and when to use it? So to me, advice is something you give someone. And when you advise someone, you give them advice. So if I was to advise you with an S, I would give you advice. So let's make sure Bob the Canadian gets that right. Advise and advice. So it says, advise with an S is a verb, which means to recommend or to give advice with a C. There you go. Oh, phew. I'm glad I was right. Let's see here. Ahmad says, hi, Bob. Could you tell me what is the meaning of my condolences? So this is something you say to someone when someone they know and possibly someone you know has died. You usually say this to a family member of the person who has died. So let's say I knew someone who passed away, and if I went to the funeral and I saw his son, the son of the person who died, I would say to the son, my condolences. It basically just means, I'm thinking of you in this really hard time. I'm thinking of you because your dad has passed away. So that's what my condolences means. Let's see here. Jonathan says, there's another type of celebration, and that is in the form of a parade. Have you ever seen a parade, like the Parade of Nations at the Olympics? Yes. In fact, around Christmas, if you go to a local town near us, they have a parade at Christmas time, and it's at night. It's a really nice parade. It's actually in one of my Christmas videos, some really dark footage of the parade. Hey, I do want to pause for a sec, though, and say hello to the 368 people watching. If you're new here, don't forget to click that subscribe button or the one down below. And if you want to support my channel more and have a few perks, you can click the join button and you will get a bit more information about that. But let's get back to the questions. By the way, I'm having a lot of fun. I haven't done this for a while. And this is very, very nice to do. Alina says, hi, Bob. How to pronounce schedule and scheduler correctly? So I say schedule. Every day I have a schedule. I teach classes in the afternoon. One class starts at 12:30. The next one starts at 1:40. So my schedule is that I go and teach my classes. I have a schedule because of the scheduler, the person who made it. Now, some really, really old Canadians still say schedule. I don't say schedule. 99% of Canadians, I think, say schedule, but you can also use that pronunciation, schedule. When I was younger, I had a teacher who still said schedule, and that might be the British pronunciation, but here we normally say schedule. Let's see here. From Thalim, hi sir, I'm from India. Sir, please let me know how to talk English like you, because as Indians, our pronunciation is totally different. I'm going to finish the word there. Well, I would say, number one, just embrace your accent. It's not bad to have an accent when you speak English. When I speak French, I have an accent. It's very clear that I am a native English speaker when I speak French, which is the language I learned. But what you can do is reduce your accent. You can do that by shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to an English speaker and then you pause and say what they've just said and you try to mimic how they're pronouncing things. Shadowing is probably one of the best ways to reduce your accent for sure. Over in the chat, John says, hey guys and Bob, I'm John from Brazil. It's my first live class. I found your channel 1 year ago and I'm almost done watching all the videos. That's very, very cool, John. Awesome to hear that you have worked your way through all of them. By the way, there are quite a few people who, when they find my channel, they watch all my videos and they let me know in the comments every time they've finished another one. There's about 7 people doing that right now. So when I look at the comments, I'll see another one of those people has finished watching one of my videos. It's very cool. It's very fun for me to see that. Abel says, hello, Bob. Long time no see. How would you describe a job that you had in the past? Thank you. So here's how I would describe it. A few years ago, I had a different job. I worked at a factory. At the factory, I was in charge of lots of people. I told people what to do, and we made tools. By the way, none of this is true. So obviously, you're going to start by saying 10 years ago or 12 years ago or 20 years ago, I worked as a construction worker or I worked in a factory. You're going to use the past tense to talk about that previous job. Let's see here. Lee says, the older I am, the more difficult I find learning English. I'm going to add some words there. The older I am, the more difficult I find learning English. Do you think so? I think the older you get, you also get busier. I do know a few people who are retired, people who have worked and are age 65, who find it quite easy to learn a language because they have lots of time. If you're my age, I'm 50 by the way, you might find it more difficult because your life's really busy. It's hard to find time to learn the language. So I think that on the flip side, yes, it is easier, I think, for kids to learn a language. But at the same time, I think if you have the time, older people can definitely learn a language as well. Azam says, hi teacher, if I was near that river now, I would probably grab my fly rod and cast my baits for salmon. I don't think there is salmon in there, but you would be probably catching a lot of fish right now. I have seen fish jumping recently. I think a fish called a carp has been jumping. By the way, great sentence. If I was near that river now, I would probably grab my fly rod. That's a great sentence, by the way. Good use of a conditional complex sentence or compound sentence. So we have yesterday, I did a little lesson. Let's see here if I have it. I did a lesson on daily routines. And one of the things I talked about was supper and dinner. And Be Brave Like Ukraine says, hello, Teacher Bob. Is there any difference between dinner and supper? Thanks in advance. For me, there is no difference. At the end of the day, make supper. At the end of the day, I make dinner. I do know for some people there is a difference. depending on where you are. Let's look up between supper and dinner. So dinner and supper are both used to refer to the main meal of the day, especially the one eaten in the evening. Supper is used especially when the meal is an informal one, while dinner tends to be the term chosen when the meal is more formal. Yeah, possibly. Like sometimes we go to Jen's parents for dinner. We might go for Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner. We would use the word dinner then. But yeah, in terms of at night, like what time did you have dinner last night? Oh, we had dinner at 5:30. What time did you have supper? So let's see here. Next question, and then we'll do members only chat. Rebea, hi Bob. How to prepare for IELTS? Well, first of all, hopefully your IELTS isn't like tomorrow. Hopefully it's a few months away. And if your IELTS test is like in 4 months, I would first of all hire a tutor. There's a webpage called Preply. There's a link below. There's other web pages as well, but hire a tutor who specializes in IELTS prep and make sure you meet with them for an hour a week. And as well, make sure you're doing a lot of listening, reading, writing, and speaking and learning new vocabulary. But certainly finding a tutor and paying them money is just an excellent thing to do to prepare. Hey folks, it's time for members only chat. Let me get that set up if I remember how to do it. I mean, I still do it every Friday, so it shouldn't be a mystery. But here we go. If you are a member, you can ask questions directly in the chat right now, and I will keep answering questions from the forum as well. Let me just have a drink, and let me just check to make sure things are working properly. Yeah. There we go. I can't believe half an hour has gone by already. That's really, really fast. Let me get a question on the screen here from the forum. And we'll look at that first. So we have from EAA. Hey Bob, what's the difference between force, oblige, and compel? So when you force someone to do something, this is the most common way to say you make someone do something. Jen and I forced our kids to take piano lessons. They didn't have a choice. So they were obliged to do it. And then we compelled them to do it. That's a more formal way to say that you are forcing someone. Betty Lou says, hi. This is from the chat, by the way. Hi, the cutest teacher, Bob. Would you consider making GeoGuessr lessons again? Those are so fun to watch while learning English. I might. I actually canceled my GeoGuessr subscription, though. It was $4 a month, and that was too pricey for me because I wasn't playing anymore. Let's wait till summer. This summer, of course, I won't be teaching. No promises, but let's wait till summer and see how I'm feeling. If my throat is good and I don't feel overworked, maybe we'll do one. Mode Egg says, hello, my fellow Bobbies. Thumbs up for Mr. Bob. Thanks for that, Mode Eggs. And then as part of this week's plan, I wrote a joke. It's about Brent. There's a reason he's my banter mate. I'll share it in the next message. I hope it's not a dad joke. So members, starting this past Monday, I kind of give you like a little, it's called a week at a glance for members. And it's a little bit of, you know, what I'm doing and some recommendations for something you could listen to, a little challenge. This week's challenge was to kind of find an English joke and understand it, because understanding humor. So another perk that members get is they get a little glance of the week, or a week at a glance. Julio says, hi teacher, it's good to join in online today. It's good to have you here. Brent says, I'm scared because there's going to be a joke about him. Sita says, hello, Mr. Bob. I'm happy to be watching this live lesson. Greetings from Brazil. Greetings back to you from Canada. And then Mode Ag says, what's Brent's favorite part of chicken? The drumsticks, because he plays the drums. That is a dad joke. By the way, if you don't know what a dad joke is funny, but in kind of a not super funny kind of way. Like other dads laugh, but it's not always the funniest joke. But I do like Mode Eggs' joke there. Let's get the next question on the screen. And here we go. Martinda says, hi Bob, in one of your short stories you mentioned that you hardly ever use photocopied materials for your French classes. What activities do you use in your classes? So I put a lot of things on something called Google Classroom. So we do use computers in our classrooms. Our students have laptops. So most of what I give to students is usually digital. So if I have, even if I have it on paper, I'll sometimes scan it and make it into a PDF, and I'll give that to the students. So I do use paper. In French class, I probably use paper quite regularly, but mostly I give them digital materials. But yes, that was in one of my shorts from the other day. Should I make a short right now? Let's do that right now. That'd be kind of funny, wouldn't it? I know there's questions piling up, but for those of you that watch my shorts, let's make a short right now if I can. My phone is not cooperating though. It's just a spinning. Oh, here we go. Add to your story. Okay, here we go. Will it work? Yes, hopefully it works. Well, hey, I'm just sitting out here doing a live stream. So I have my laptop and I have my camera set up and I have a light. And I'm sitting out here in the great outdoors doing a live stream for everyone. Hi, maybe you're in the live stream now. Okay, so that's let's see here. Did that work? I'm going to hit post and I'll put that over there. There we go. Okay, I'm behind. Let's see here. Betty Lou, hi, the cutest teacher Bob. An interesting question. What would be your superpower? I think you have the power of kindness. Well, thank you. Thanks for your lessons. You rock. What would my superpower be? I have the power of sleep. I can nap anywhere, and at night I can fall asleep in an instant. That's my superpower. Let's see. Audie the Tie. Hello, Teacher Bob. Today, no question. I'm so happy when I see you here with a beautiful view. There we go. Thanks, Audie. Thanks for watching too. Yaroslav, as I live and breathe, do Canadians ever use it? Yes, older Canadians. Like it's an expression of as I live and breathe. I've never seen anyone drive a car so fast. So I always picture an old person, you know, sitting in their rocking chair and someone drives by and they would say, as I live and breathe. I've never seen anyone drive so fast. Let's see here. Lolly says, it seems to me that Walter's growing up fast. Thanks for showing him in the video. I am a lover of dogs and cats. He is growing fast. He eats like a vacuum cleaner. Like he just sucks all the food in. Let's see here. Modes, you're funny from Sita. Welcome, John Wedge. Yes, welcome, John. Audie says, welcome to John Wedge as well. And I should say welcome to John as well. Welcome, John. Thanks for becoming a member. And welcome to Harry as well for becoming a member. Mode says, woohoo, this is so exciting. Betty says, hi, the cutest teacher Bob. Question 2, do you believe in destiny? Have fun while doing the live stream. I don't believe in destiny. I think I believe that, I mentioned this the other day in a video, in a comment. I think we all need to leave the earth better than how we found it. That's my mission right now, whether that means helping people or not littering and those kinds of things. Let's see here. John says, hey guys, hello again. Hey Bob, I hope to see you in Canada one day as I will immigrate soon. It's a pleasure to see all of you here. I've known you for a while now from watching Bob's videos so much. Well, welcome and thanks for becoming a member, John. And I hope the process of immigrating goes smoothly for you. Let's see here. Sita says, Mr. Bob, as Brett usually says, Brazil is in the house. Yes, a very common way to mention that someone from a certain place or that someone is present. Walter was in the house earlier when he came. So Julio says, as I live and breathe, that seems like a great expression. It is, but it's not super common. Not a super common expression. Betty Lou, hi, the cutest teacher Bob. Question 3, what color do you mostly see in your closet? Thanks for the hard work. Blue, mostly blue. I'm wearing a blue shirt and I'm wearing a blue sweater over top of my shirt because it's a little chilly out here. Freddie Wolf, hi Bob, thanks so much. Could you please explain the difference between schedule and timetable? It's a bit confusing for me. I enjoy your lesson. A timetable is more, to me, it's like a schedule but at a school. Like if you're a student, you have a timetable and it tells you when your classes are. If you have a job, or even if you're a teacher, you probably have a schedule for the day of the things you're going to do. So they're related, but to me, timetable is more something a student would have. Like students get their timetable at the beginning of the year. Audie says, wow, Teacher Bob, a power from click to sleep. I love it. Yes. And Lolly says hi to John Wedge. Mode says no biggie to Todd. John says thanks, Bob. Harry says, what is a shirt without sleeves called? Normally men wear it when they go to the gym. So we have a muscle shirt. That's a shirt where you can see the shoulders. And then we have a short sleeve shirt or a short sleeved shirt. There's two names. I think short sleeved with the D is more proper. But at the gym, it's probably a muscle shirt. That's what I would call it. Hey, I'm going to turn off members only chat. Give me 1 second here. We are going to go back to subscriber chat. And as I do that, I do want to say thank you to all of you who are members. By the way, I am going to work a bit harder on what members get for being members. I do appreciate all of you. You are very, very helpful in the running of this channel. So one of the things is there's going to be a week at a glance that comes out early on Mondays, which is just going to be a little bit of some recommendations. I'll let you know what I'm reading or listening to, a new phrasal verb of the week, and it's just on the community tab. It's not a video. And then also I'm making an effort to respond to all member comments. So usually I respond to comments on a video the day it comes out, but I've also scheduled a bit of time every day to respond to members' comments. Some of you may have noticed that already. So that's another thing you'll get as a member. By the way, if you click the join button, you'll get some more information. And you get your name in green, you get a crown during live streams, and you get to participate in members only chat. So hopefully that's helpful for you. I like to help people. And when you help me by supporting the channel, I want to help you a little bit more. So that's the plan. What do we got left here? 20 minutes. We should do another question. Let's see here. By the way, did my story work? I'm not sure if you can watch a story in a live stream at the same time, but let's get back to questions. Let me have a little sip of tea first. This tea is really good today. Antonio, it's a pleasure to be able to talk with you. Since I found you, your channel, your work has helped me a lot. One day I'll speak clearly like you. Thank you. You are very welcome, Antonio. I'm glad that you found my channel, and I'm really glad that it is helpful for you. That's awesome. Next question is from Julio. Hi, Julio. Hi, dear teacher. Could you please tell us some phrases with the word shift? Have a nice day. Well, sometimes when you work at night, we say that you're working the late shift. So if you work during the day, it's a normal shift. But if you work at night, it's the night shift. When you drive a car, if it's a kind that has a clutch and a gear shift, you have to shift gears. I can shift over a little bit. Like if I'm not in the center, I'll shift over a little bit, which means to move slightly. You can also shift things around. Maybe when you go in your kitchen, everything's out of order, so you shift things around so they're in the right order. Wow, shift has a lot of usage, and I probably could go on and on with it. Let me see where I'm at here. Oh, good. Everything's going smoothly. I like it. I will not be able to answer this question completely, but I'll take a shot. Is there an easy way to learn the different uses of to and for? I try to learn, but there's always a new and difficult situation to decide which of them I should use. Yeah, it's very hard to explain this quickly, okay? Because I'm going to drink this tea to make my throat feel better. So I use the word to. I can also say, it's nice to have tea. Tea is good for making my throat feel better. So I didn't really explain the difference there, but I gave you two examples. And I will try someday to make a longer video to explain the two usages. But did you hear that? Like, I drink tea to make my throat feel better. Tea is good for making your throat feel better. So just in those examples, I understand why it's very difficult for some of you. Yes, I'll make a bigger lesson on it someday. Let's see here. This is from John Wedge, and I think we read this comment. Hey, Bob, I'm John from Brazil. It's my first live class. I found your channel 1 year ago, and I'm almost done watching all the videos. Thanks for everything. Well, thanks for taking the time to do that. I'm glad to hear that my videos are helpful and that you are watching them all one by one and you're done. That's great. Wilson says, I couldn't fully understand the meaning of ladder, Mr. Bob. Could you help me understand? So when you have, let's say this, I have two vans The first one is red and the second one is blue. And when I talk about the latter one, I also should mention it's shorter. So when you use latter, it means you've already mentioned some things and you're talking about the last thing you meant. The other day I saw 3 dogs. One was running really fast. The second one was running about medium speed. And the last one was running real slow. And the latter one also barked a lot. So it's a way to kind of reference back. It's difficult. We don't use the word much, by the way. We don't use latter very often. So not a super important word to understand. Kimmy and Kiwi from Korea are here. Regulars on Friday morning, always asking good questions. Here we go. Teacher Bob, which ones mean business hours are done or it's out of business? Restaurant is closed, is shut down, and restaurant closes, shuts down. So this is interesting because they can both mean the same. So if there's a restaurant and that restaurant is open until 10 p.m., I can say to Jen at 10:05, I can say, the restaurant's closed. Or I could say the restaurant's shut down for the day. If I say though the restaurant is shut down, that usually means it's closed permanently. Okay. So the restaurant is closed, or the restaurant closes tomorrow at 6, or the restaurant shuts down tomorrow at 6. That usually means they're going to open again the next day. But if you say the restaurant is going to shut down, sometimes we add the word permanently. Oh yeah, that restaurant is going to shut down permanently. That would mean it's not going to open again. Hopefully I didn't confuse you there, but I hope that made sense. Sorry to laugh. Sometimes when I'm done explaining, I briefly feel like, I hope that helped the two of you. I hoped it helped Kimmy and Kiwi. Next question from Gaurav. Hi, teacher. How to understand a book like suppose I'm reading a book and I feel I'm just reading words, doesn't make sense. What do I do? What should I do? Few fixes as I read that. So number 1, make sure you're not reading too far above your level, and make sure the book you're reading isn't too easy. You have to find books where you do understand some words. You have to understand enough words to understand the story. And if you don't, you need to look them up. But it's kind of a challenge because you want to find books where as you read it, you can kind of figure out what unfamiliar words mean because you understand some of them. So start with kids' books. If you understand everything, read young adult fiction. If you understand everything, read something like a bestseller and try to find the sweet spot, we would call it. Try to find books where you can understand most of the words, but not all of them. Let's see. Iman says, hello, best teacher. How are you doing? Long time no seeing you on Saturday. My question is, what does it mean when someone tells you that's what doctors ordered? We usually say doctor's orders. So here's a funny example. I went to the doctor once and they did some blood work. They took some blood and they analyzed it. And the doctor said, your cholesterol is a little bit high. You should drink a glass of wine once or twice a week. So I went home to Jen and I said, I have to drink more wine, doctor's orders. So it's a way of explaining a behavior because the doctor told you to do it. I need to exercise more, doctor's orders. I need to eat healthier food, doctor's orders. That means the doctor told me that I have to do that it's important for my health. Pew says, Dear Bob, I remember that you introduced the medical system of Canada in one of your videos, but I forget the details. Can you please introduce it briefly here? Sure. First of all, we pay really high taxes in Canada, and as a result of that, healthcare is free. If I need to go see the doctor, it is free. I don't have to pay money to see the doctor. If you have something minor, you go to what's called a medical center, you book an appointment, you go and see a nurse, you see your doctor, they give you some medicine. If you have something immediate, like let's say you break your arm or your chest feels funny, you go to what's called the emergency room at a hospital and a doctor will see you right away. You don't need an appointment. So that's a quick answer to that question. From Asti, hi Bob, I'm from Japan and going to Canada to study English and work next year. That's awesome. I like no matter. What's your favorite phrase? Thank you always. Have a good day. I don't really have a favorite phrase, but I do think it's funny how, I do say to people, how's it going? That is how I greet people. And that's how I am quite often greeted. People usually say, hey, how's it going? I mentioned it in a video earlier this week that it's a very common question. So I think it's one of my common ways to greet people because it's just a nice way to inquire about how their life is going. Suraj, how to become fluent in English within 2 months? Well, that's like, you want my honest opinion? You would have to study English every waking hour for 2 months, and there's a chance you still wouldn't be fluent in 2 months. So you would need to study English for 14 to 15 hours a day. And then maybe in 2 months you would be close, but I doubt it. My belief is that if you study English for an hour or two a week for a year or two, you will be close to fluent, at least enough to get by. But 2 months maybe is not enough time. Let's see. Adib says, hey, Bob, what time is it now in your country? It is 11:49 a.m. on a Saturday. I am in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So that's what time it is here. And in 11 minutes, this live stream will be over. Let's see here. In the chat, Ralph says, where would the recorded story be visible? So when you go on a phone, and if you go to my channel, there's like a little, I'm not sure if you can see this. Let me make sure there's no private information here. I don't know if this will focus, but you see my face there in the middle? You see that little circle? If you hit that little circle, it'll play. Let's see what the comments. Mode says, I'm writing this comment while watching your live stream. Thanks for the amazing outdoor lesson. No problem. I'll put a heart on that one. And then Unsol says, I was there too. I'll put a heart on that one as well. So somewhere in your YouTube app is where you find the stories. Let's see here. This question is from Hobart. Morning, teacher. I can understand the English that you speak, a little fix there, but I can't express my thoughts smoothly. How do I improve my English? Thank you very much. So 2 ways. Number 1, write out many of the common things you would say in a conversation. So write out things like, I was born in Ontario, Canada. I moved to this country 10 years ago. I like pizza. Just memorize, like write out 50 things about yourself that you can memorize in English. And then the second thing I would say is get an English conversation partner. Hire someone on Preply perhaps, but get an English conversation partner and meet with them for at least 30 minutes a week, maybe an hour if you can afford it. And that will really, really, really help. Mohammed has the next question here. And the question is, hello, how are you doing? I'm doing good. My question is, what does it mean when someone says, of course, when I say thank you? Thank you, of course. So if I say to someone, thanks for helping me, if they say, of course, it means that they were willing to help me, they liked helping me, and they'll probably help me again. It means that anytime I ask that person for something, they'll probably say yes. If I said to my mom, thanks for supper, she would say, of course, no problem, come anytime. So it's just a way of kind of continuing the thank you, you're welcome, of course conversation. David says, hi, Teacher Bob. Good morning. Good morning to you as well. Can you guys hear the birds? I'm not sure if you can. Let's go to the next one. This is from Jergo. Hello, Bob. I'm from Hungary. My question is, how old are you? How old do you think I am when you see my hair? 60, 70, 40? No, I'm 50 years old. I was in my 40s. Now I'm in my 50s. I'm 50 years old. From Kwok. Hi, Bob. I have a question. I just heard an easy, short conversation, but long like in film and TV shows I don't understand. How can I improve my listening skills? You just need to listen more, and you need to do a variety of things when you're listening. If you can read something before you hear it, do that. Some YouTube videos have a full transcript. Try to read the transcript and then watch the video. If you really want to practice, do this. Read the transcript, watch the video with subtitles on, English subtitles, watch it again with English subtitles off, and then watch it again, speed it up a little bit. That's one thing that you can do. But repetition is a good way to improve your listening skills. I have a dog barking at me. There's a puppy barking at me. Next question is from Eve. Hey, Bob, I'm Eve from China. May I ask you how to improve my spoken English? So again, it's the best way to improve something is to do more of it, but to do it in a way where, where you're actually getting some correction or instruction. So I know I've mentioned this a few times, but hiring someone as a tutor that you can meet on FaceTime or on Zoom or Skype, someone like from Preply or Cambly or italki, there's a bunch of different places. That's just super, super helpful. I think I've talked too long today. That's okay. I think I talk a little bit louder when I'm outside. Next question is a really hard grammar question, so I'm going to skip it. This is from Nan. Hi, from Myanmar. Can you make videos every single day, even if the video is short? When I watch your videos, I feel like I improve a lot. So I do have a second YouTube channel. It's called Bob's Short English Lessons, and I make 2 videos a week on that channel. On this channel, I do a video and a live stream once a week. And if you're a member, I do another video on Wednesdays. So if you're interested, if you watch both my channels, you'll get 4 videos a week. And if you did become a member, you would get 5, which is almost 1 a day throughout the week. So that's one thing you could do, Nan. I used to make more videos, but it just takes a lot of time. And I do still have a job that I have to go to every day. Rosemary says, hi, great lesson. What are the ways to address an English teacher? It depends what country you're in. In my school, you use the word Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. and the person's last name. Some students still call me sir. They'll say, sir, I have a question. Can I ask a question, sir? Or sir, how do I do this? That's very, very common. But you need to figure out what's common in the country that you're in, okay? Because it could be slightly different in different countries. In the chat, by the way, there are no more questions in the form. We're done those questions. So I'm just going to chat it up for 5 minutes and then we'll wrap this up. By the way, someone asked a couple weeks ago what I mean when I say we're going to wrap this up. When you wrap something up, it means that you end it, okay? In my classes when there's only 2 minutes left in class, I say, okay, let's wrap things up. This is your homework. Don't forget about this. Let's put the chairs on top of the desks when we leave, etc., etc. Let me see here. In the chat, Harry says to Apple the Frog, so did I. Audie and Apple the Frog, are you watching from a laptop or phone? If you're on a phone, type by fingers or one. Oh, yeah, like I type with swipe or with my thumbs. That's what I use. I'm peeking in on your conversation here. Dusney says, good morning, everyone, and special thanks to Mr. Bob, one of the greatest teachers I ever had. I am from Cuba. Good to see you there, Dusney. Kiki says, how to acquire more vocabulary in a short time? Well, that's challenging because it depends how fast you can memorize stuff. For me, the more you can use the word, the more you'll remember it. So I would rather you learn less words, but you use each of those words in a conversation, in writing, and maybe through some kind of practice app on your phone. That would just be better. Asti has become a member. Welcome, Asti. Good to see you here. Welcome to a Saturday live stream. It's fun to have new people on board. So thank you for being a member. Ernesto says, can you pronounce gauge and how to use it? Well, sometimes you have to gauge how far something is. Like if I'm going to throw something to one of my kids, I kind of have to gauge the distance, which means to guess or to kind of estimate what the distance is. David has a question. Hello, teacher Bob. How many words would you suggest to learn every day? I'm learning Oxford 5000 at the moment. Do you think it is enough to speak fluently? So I would say if you can learn 5,000 English words and learn how to use them, you will be able to have good English conversations. How many words should you learn in a day? That's different for different people. I would say if you can learn, let's say, 15 or 20 words a day, that would be amazing, okay? I'm not sure how many words that would be a year, but let's say you learn 20 words a day. which would be hard, I think. That's 7,300 words in a year. I think if you learn 5 words a day, that's amazing. That would be a great strategy. Let's see here. I think that is the last question, and I think we're going to wrap this up in a sec. Brent says hello to John. John says, I have several names in my mind since Bob's classes in the school classroom. Renata is one of those people. Yes, Renata has been around for a while. Some of my members and regular viewers have been here for a very long time. Some go away and come back. But as always, my classes are here for you whenever you need them. I actually think Lolly Lolly might be one of my oldest members. I'm not sure. I don't want to accidentally mention one person above another, but some people have been here for quite a while. And if you go to older live streams, you can see them in the chat. I think that's it, everyone. I think I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching on this Saturday morning. Remember, I will do this again the first Saturday in June. So you will have to wait a little bit. I'll do this the first Saturday of every month for the next couple of months. And then when summer comes, I'll see if I have time, whether I can do 2 a month, or if I'm crazy, maybe 3 again, like I used to do. But for now, this was fun. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to say bye to Brent and John Wedge and Audie the Thai. Bye to Yaroslav, Sita, Lolly Lolly, Javier, Renata, Audie the Thai, Harry, Mode Eggs, Sita, Lolly Lolly, Panorama. I say bye to people like 3 or 4 times because I just read the list. Thanks to Todd for being here and moderating. Awesome. Thank you, Todd. And I think I'm going to click the button that ends the video. Bye, everybody. Have a great Saturday afternoon or evening, wherever you are. And look for that new video that's coming out Tuesday.